The Duux Whisper Flex just received an update, and that's what we're going over today. Now, I think you can already spot the main difference, and that's of course the dial on the base. Even though I did not mind the design of the dial on the original Flex, on the Flex 2 it's definitely better. And not just design, it's much easier to operate as well. While on the Flex, you had to click it in, then rotate it to get the right setting, press it again to turn it on or off. It just didn't work as intuitive. It did do the job of course, but comparing it to this new design, which now features a touchscreen too, man, it's just so much better. You can just tap on the setting you want and it will turn on. Want to increase the speed? You can also press and hold to quickly go to the desired setting. The regular setting on the Flex isn't a thing anymore, which makes total sense too if you think about it. It's now either natural wind mode or the night mode. If you have neither selected, then it's just the normal mode. You don't have to press a button for it. A natural mode mimics nature by alternating between stronger and gentler gusts, creating a wavy, natural breeze. Night mode doesn't make the fan any quieter during normal operation, but it does dim the display and eventually turns it off. New this year is that enabling night mode no longer triggers any beeps, which is a welcome change. I absolutely love this new display over here. It just makes it 10 times better. But wait, there's more. Do you ever place your fan in a corner or somewhere with limited space where you don't want it to rotate all of the way? Or maybe you do want it to turn, but not the full 90 degrees. Because it's just too hot to wait for it to swing back around. With the Flex, you could either turn on or off the horizontal or vertical swing, but not adjust it in any way. With the Flex 2, you now have this option. You can choose to have it oscillate 30, 60, or even 90 degrees horizontally and either 45 or 90 degrees vertically. You can set this by pressing the oscillation button for either direction multiple times. It then shows 1, 2, or even 3 dots next to the setting you have selected, and it will oscillate accordingly. One thing I had to get used to here though is that when you want it to freeze, normally you would just turn off the oscillation at the right angle, but on the Flex 2, since you have those 2 or 3 options, it's better to press and hold to turn it off rather than wait for it to be on the right angle and then press 3 times in a row. Quick tip. Absolutely fantastic change here too. The fan blade has also gotten a refreshed look. I must say I've owned Duux fans since the first one and I still love its design, but now that I've got both here, yes, you can actually hear the difference. There is a very subtle squeak, so to say, with the Flex, so even though it doesn't reduce the actual decibel levels, it makes the sound feel even less noticeable. It's more of a refinement rather than a groundbreaking change, but it shows that they are willing to keep refining it. The remote is also different. It's now a little smaller and now it also has a lock icon on there, which is a child lock, so that children or even babies cannot play with it or change settings. And as a dad myself, I can tell you it's a must-have feature. The remote itself though is a downgrade in my opinion. The Flex 1 remote just feels nicer, more premium-ish. And it still has that feature on the back of the unit as well, where you can store your remote magnetically, but that works better on the Flex 1 as it's still one magnet on the unit and it's not centered on the new remote. And therefore it just looks a little bit awkward as it's not completely centered on the unit. The range isn't upgraded either. It's still about 1.20 meters until it stops working. And it's still absolutely needed to point towards the base, which is still a complaint I have with these. Since when you're on the couch, that's not always as convenient. On the new display with the Flex 2, you can also see the battery percentage more clearly. It's now a green battery icon once fully charged, and it will change color depending on the battery level dropping. It's still locked at wind speed 15 when used with the battery though, so that did not change. Now, even though not a major upgrade, it's still interesting that the battery capacity decreased on the Flex 2 while still boasting better usage stats. The official stats for the battery usage on the Flex say that when it's used at max speed 15 and both vertical and horizontal oscillation is turned on, it can go on for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And on the Flex 2, that's now 3 hours. Now, that's not a major difference, but it's still something you will definitely notice. And hell, every change that's for the better here is a welcome one, especially when it's about the battery. Both models still offer that feature where you can make it a tabletop fan too if you so desire. Just remove the extension tube between the head and the base and it will become a tabletop fan. The Flex 2 is also a little taller than the Flex 1. It's now 93 centimeters instead of 88 centimeters. And here too, it's not a random change. Other fans like this are usually a bit taller, so this is a good in between. All in all, it's an excellent upgrade, and I'd say it's even one that makes you want to sell the old one for this newer version. The oscillation adjustments and the touchscreen alone make it worth the upgrade. Make sure you subscribe for more fan reviews, and if you aren't done watching yet, make sure you choose another video, and I'll see you there.